About Josh Jacobs in Green Bay.
All right, Laura, the good thing for the Green Bay Packers was there was no structural damage in Josh Jacobs' knee when he underwent additional testing today for the knee injury that he suffered yesterday. Again, spit towards Jalen Ramsey. The league obviously is taking a hardline stance towards this type of behavior. We saw Jalen Carter get thrown out of the game in the opener against the Dallas Cowboys, and the league said that that counted essentially as a one-game suspension. I think a lot of people around the league are expecting the league to suspend Ja'Marr Chase for the upcoming Bengals game.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll know something soon, as you said, Adam. Now, both Ramsey and Chase were asked about the incident after the game. Let's hear from them now.
He spit on me, so it's up. I don't give a about football after that, respectfully. The play before, he tried to like crack block me or whatever. You know what I mean? I got up off that, and then we got up talking or whatever, and he snatched my mouthpiece off my face mask.
He was saying that you spit on him. Did you spit on him?
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy.
Just to be clear, you did not spit on him at all. That's what he was saying.
I ain't spit on nobody.
Okay, well, the zoom in may make us feel a little different. But, RC, what do you make of the incident?
I mean, first of all, it's absolutely disgusting. To spit on another man is the lowest form of human disrespect. And the league needs to make an example out of Ja'Marr Chase. And now, I love Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase is someone I've known since high school. That's how I also know that Jimmy didn't raise him to be this person. And I don't care about the lying after or saying that you didn't do it. It's the fact that you did it. It's the fact that in doing it, you showed Jalen Ramsey, you showed the NFL, you showed the Pittsburgh Steelers that respecting the men on this field is not something that's important to you. And so the NFL has to make an example out of Ja'Marr Chase, one of its best players, one of its most visible players, because this is what I fear. If you don't make an example out of Ja'Marr Chase, when does the next person get made an example out of? When does someone spit on somebody and the retaliation is to attempt to end that person's career with the level of disrespect that they were spat on? And so for me, this needs to be a hard stance by the NFL that this will not be tolerated.
Yeah, you know, RC, usually we try to find a silver lining in these situations, but my hard stance is just like yours. And I talk to my kids all the time about you can build a lifetime of credibility, and a 30-second act can change the way people think about you. And this is one of those examples of where you get into the heat of battle, or you talk about the frustration with the Cincinnati team and not winning and losing. Nobody cares about that. And then again, I say this all the time about the NFL. And you know this, and everybody that's played, there is a specific code that lies that's unspoken of things that you don't do, right? And when you cross that line, like Jalen said, it is no longer about football. And that's why you have to be careful if you're the NFL, if you try to compromise anything about this, or if you try to fabricate a story, not fabricate, if you try to come up with a story to be lenient because it is Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, you come up with any reason to not lay the hammer down in this situation, you're absolutely
And you know
wrong.
what bothers me too is that beyond that being on the field and being so publicized, these are the type of things that lead to off the field issue.
100%.
And that is where you get into this scary area of now I disrespect you as a person. We can have heated battles, we can talk noise like Jalen said, but this carries over now. Yep. And you'll never see Jalen Ramsey and Ja'Marr Chase holding hands singing Kumbaya.
Jalen Ramsey said it's no longer about football,
right.
It's up. And the scary part about that is you don't want it to be up outside of these lines of play.
Yeah, good points, you guys. And it is worth remembering if they do end up putting a suspension as a punishment for this for Ja'Marr Chase, they have the Patriots coming up and they have the Ravens after that. We'll keep an eye on that news if it does come down. All right, let's get back to some of the action of Sunday. And for this was really the mark of a fighter in a lot of ways for these Bears. I mean, my goodness, Caleb Williams getting ready to go, visiting the Vikings, so they're on the road. 40 seconds left in the second quarter. The Vikings trail 10-3. J.J. McCarthy looking to find Jordan Addison in the end zone, but being picked off by Nashawn Wright.
Underthrown after McCarthy holds on to it for too long. Story of the game at multiple turns.
Late in the third quarter, Vikings down 16-3. 3rd and 2 from their own 29. McCarthy trying to get it to Justin Jefferson, but we saw him frustrated throughout this game, Peter.
For the first 3.5 quarters, you're wondering if J.J. McCarthy can get it done, and then he turned it on. Was it enough, though?
He did. We'll show you that in a bit. Vikings 2nd and 2 for the Bears 16. Jordan Mason taking the handoff, running it into the end zone. So the Vikings cut the deficit 16-10. They're making a comeback. Less than a minute left in the fourth quarter. And here's McCarthy finding Jordan Addison for the touchdown, like Peter said. They're cutting into it. The Vikings end up taking the 17-16 lead, but ensuing kick return for the Bears. Devin Duvernay fields the kick.
That's a great play by Chicago. I've watched it a few times. You
Awesome
get the
block.
pulling action, that opens the running lane, and you get a huge return that ends up deciding the game.
56-yard return for Duvernay, so 4 seconds left. The Bears lining up for the 48-yard field goal, and Cairo Santos kicks it through the uprights to win the game. The Bears win a thriller again, 19-17 on the walk-off field goal. And Peter, look, I mean, wins are wins, right? People are like at times ripping on the Bears this year because it may be the way that they've won, but they are getting these wins. How are they doing it?
Well, look, the offense isn't going to wow you, and you have Ben Johnson as a head coach. You expected these fireworks. They acquired Colston Loveland in the draft. They did all these things, and yet you look, Mina, Laura, at this. They lead the league in takeaways with 22. They are the best at turnover differential at plus 16, and they lead the league in interceptions with 15. Like, that'll lead to wins. That is the stuff that matters. And then when they needed it most, Mina mentioned it, an incredible kick return, just when you think things are slipping away, and then Santos' money from deep, and he's doing a skull chant and a gritty in the locker room dancing. Like, there is something special right now, and if the playoffs were to start today, the Chicago Bears are your division champions. And I don't think any of us had that before the season.
And for anyone who says it's fluky and one-score games and all that, they're running the hell out of the football.
Yes, they are.
Fluky about the run game right now.
Earlier in the season, Ben Johnson was so frustrated because they couldn't run the ball. They've improved on that a lot.
Started off 0-2 this season.
Oh, that's true. It's a good reminder. Mina, J.J. McCarthy threw 2 interceptions, finished with a QBR of 22. What's going on with him?
Inaccuracy, and you can source it to a number of reasons: timing, footwork, holding onto the football. But basically the summary watching this game is just too many uncatchable throws. And my concern now, as I think about this Vikings team as a whole, is this: the locker room, right? It's honestly not too dissimilar from the conversations we had at some point about Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. In this game alone, you could see normally sure-handed Viking skill players getting frustrated. Justin Jefferson never gets frustrated. It's like the consummate teammate. And then Jordan Addison with some drops as well. The defense played exceptional in this one, by the way. And so you're a team that should be in these games. You should be competitive. You're running the ball well. You've got these amazing skill players. And at a certain point, they may have to make a decision to go off of McCarthy purely because of the locker room as a whole.
And it's frustrating because they did get the lead. And then at that point, it's like our special teams gives up that big kick return, and we can't even win this way. That's a home game they're losing in the division. That's crushing for them. McCarthy has not inspired the team, obviously, and has not inspired the masses. And you have to wonder, all right, at this point in the season, what do we do from here? And I think that, it's not a good place to be with a second-year player that they let Sam Darnold walk out of that building.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Mina, just the uncatchable balls. I mean, it's hard to figure out what exactly is causing that, because then at times he does seem to hit receivers when it does matter. His 5 straight games with an interception, the longest active streak in the NFL. More to come here on NFL.